Hello there, I'm Aldrahill and welcome to EU4, and you know what? The Ottos have had a bad lot. In the recent patch they've been nerfed, not to the ground, but pretty badly, and the Mamelukes in turn have been buffed, giving even more development. So the Ottomans are no longer the memey nation. So let's change that. Let's re-memify the Ottomans. This is a guide for how to make the Catholic Ottomans emperor over Europe. So, this is a pretty standard start that I'm playing in Ottomans right now, and I've sped it up just to, go through the normal motions. I'm fighting Byzantium for Constantinople in the first year, sieging it down, doing my advisors and such. But the key element here is the Dhimmi estate. The Dhimmi estate is a special estate that it's only granted to Muslim nations, and they can grant to heathen provinces. And basically it helps, deal with the religious minorities and such. However, when the Dhimmi revolt, they revolt using the religion of the province that they revolt in. So, if you assign Dhimmi estates to just Catholic provinces that you control, when they revolt, they'll be Catholic rebels. You can then use those rebels to siege down your entire nation and force you to become Catholic. Now, I do that in this little playthrough, which I've sped up. I do make some mistakes, however, but that's okay, because the important thing is I'm showing off the actual important bit. So I'm dealing with quite a lot of rebels, but they're not, important rebels, they're just part of it. I've gotten Byzantium, and I've taken the 4 Greek provinces that are all Orthodox, right? I've taken them all and assigned them all to the Dhimmi estate. Next, what I've done, the reason the rebels spawn, is I've destated all of Turkey. And by destating all of Turkey, what I get to do is make Greek my primary culture. By destating all the rest of my country and only stating the Greek provinces, I can give myself the correct Western culture group, meaning I'm the right kind of culture group, which is kind of really helpful. Then, what I'm doing is I'm preparing to invade into the Catholic provinces northwest of me. The main provinces you want to look out for are Bosnia and Ragusa. Bosnia has 2 Catholic provinces and Ragusa is just one, its own Catholic province. Hungary also has lots of Catholic provinces, but Hungary is another thing altogether. As you can see, I'm crushing the noble rebels, or rather the emirs, that have risen up from me revoking them. But that's fine, I can deal with that, no problem. I do kind of wreck my country, because I do this quite recklessly, I don't attack very intelligently, but I promise I'm a better gamer than before. I jump on Serbia here, so as to be able to grab the Bosnian territory, who are their allies, and also because Venice just declared on them, and I'm trying to try and get the sieges before they do. Also, getting Kosovo Gold Province is obviously a priority. Now, the issue is, of course, that I'm not able to actually take those provinces until I have a border with them, which means I need to take Ragusa, or take Kosovo and Zeta, and Travuna, or whatever, the Bosnian province, to get a land bridge. So that's one possibility you could do. You could try and do that, but you do get quite a lot of AE, and the aggressive expansion may cause a mild coalition. But to be honest, that is probably the best way to do it. I do it a little bit differently. What I end up doing is I actually end up declaring on Ragusa. As you can see, I'm kind of looking at it like, oh, as coalitions. I'm not sure about that. I end up declaring on Ragusa, who calls in their ally Hungary. So as you can see, I just take the 2 Hungarian provinces. And due to a small bug with the way peace treaties work, for some reason I'm allowed to take it even though I can't core it. But it doesn't really matter. I realized at this point that I forgot to justify on Ragusa, or rather a bit before that, and now I'm finally at war with them. It just took me a little bit longer. I wanted to start the wars at the same time, but here we are. Now I'm fighting the Ragusan and Hungarian forces that are all combined, so as to be able to beat them to a gentle pulp, get enough war score to be able to grab Ragusa. And you'll see it's actually a real ordeal, because Hungary is obviously a very strong nation. I didn't have to call in Austria or anything like that, it's just Hungary, and I think the Knights. But they do mess me up. I have to do a couple sneaky strats, move around, use mountains to my benefit. I mostly win, but I do run out of manpower very shortly. But I make it work, it's okay. Again, you can just do it through Serbia and Bosnia. You don't even need Ragusa. As long as you have 1 province, it's fine. And a land bridge is very important, or a sea bridge. As you can see how I do it with Ragusa, and the rebels just take a bit longer. Because what happens is when rebels have nowhere else to go through a direct land connection, they will automatically reposition themselves on your mainland. Like, it's just a lovely little thing they can cheat with, but it's fine. I think that's one of those cheats that's okay. As you can see, I'm kind of darting my stacks in and out using my boats, trying to lure the enemy out. This is a fun little game of cat and mouse where the main Hungarian stack was chasing after one of my merc stacks in the north, and I was desperately trying to keep them away while I got manpower up and got a chance to siege stuff. I made it work in the end, so that's what's important. So, like I said, the goal is to get the Bosnian provinces, and then the Ragusan province, which gives me 3 Catholic provinces, which I can then immediately assign to the Dhimmi estate. This war, honestly, was not easy. It was actually a real bitch to deal with. Also, I did have Crimea as a vassal in this one quite early, which was helpful, because it meant the Hungarians were off sieging them rather than dealing with me. So at this point, the only states I have are the Greek states, the state that's above the Greek states, and when I eventually will core it, the Bosnian and... I think it's actually 3 states, by the way. The 2 Bosnian provinces are in their own states, and the Ragusa is in its own as well. So it's 3 separate states. That's why you need to also get rid of lots so you have room for more, and then assign them to the Dhimmi once everything's dealt with. This war honestly drags on way too long, and I kind of mess it up. It is definitely doable by 1450 or so. Like, you seriously do not even need this much time. So as you can see, I'm piecing people out and stuff to try and get rid of them out of the war. Also, I've just managed to call in Bohemia, my lovely ally, to help me out in the war, and that's kind of the turning point for me. I should have allied him much earlier, and I would have been able to use his benefits. You know, a lot of his extra troops would have been really nice. So honestly, it's already 1456, or something like that at this point. And I should already have it. You can have it by around 1455, as in you can be Catholic by 1455. I'm still several years away, but that's okay. So there we go. As you can see, I've just taken Ragusa, and I'm going to core all that now and move my troops back and prepare for the Catholicization of the Ottomans. It is not really a very strenuous process at all. I do have some Ragusan rebels, then I just have to drop in and push out. As you can see, I have 0 manpower. That's because I'm not playing this for a long-term game. I'm just playing this to kind of show you guys how you can do this and what you can do. Obviously, if I were playing a proper game with this, I would be a lot more No, you don't. That's the thing you go into in your house. Conservationist with my troops, sure. A couple bad events that fire, but it wasn't too big a deal. So we're just waiting for them to core, and then we can state them, assign them to their Dhimmi estate, and then you need to do a couple very important things. One, you need to well, first of all, you need to use the 2 negative actions that you can do for the Dhimmi, which is impose religious taxes, and the other one that I forget the name of. And basically, they both cut loyalty from the Dhimmi. Then, you need to revoke the Dhimmi from your Catholic provinces, but first you need to make sure that they rebel on every single revocation, because you want as many rebels as possible. So what I did first is I actually revoked on one of my Greek provinces as well, to drop their loyalty even more. And it turned out I didn't need to. They immediately revolted in Greece, giving me Orthodox rebels, so I had to crush them, which was a bother, to say the least. Then I revoked on the Catholic provinces, and they immediately began firing with lovely Catholicism. As you can see, I'm imposing religious tax and doing the other thing, and there it is. There's the Orthodox zealots, and there is the delightful Catholic zealots, getting those stacks. So a lovely benefit here also is that you can actually reassign them to the Dhimmi once they've been sieged. Oh yeah, I get my siege stack killed here because I mistimed that. Whoops. So you can revoke the Dhimmi, then the rebels come and they siege the province, and then they move on. You can then reassign that sieged province to the Dhimmi again. Send a small stack, as I've done here, to de-siege it, and then revoke it again. There's no cooldown for some reason. I don't know why. There should be a cooldown, but there isn't. Which basically means you can just constantly grant it and revoke it with only a small amount of maneuvering with an ideal merc stack, and then just get massive waves of rebels. I think by the end of this I had about 50 or 60k, but I do accidentally fight some of them and kill them in Trapezoid because they go all the way around. The reason it's really important to have a land bridge is because otherwise they do sometimes try and walk all the way around and through nations, and it takes way longer. As you can see, the entirely northern section of my country is sieged, as is, or almost, Constantinople. I've just done it all again, get up loads more Catholic zealots. Yeah, as you can see, I just killed an army there by accident. Also, while I was doing this, I was under the idea that rebels could not enforce their demands while you were at war, but for some reason they are actually able to. They just broke my country and made me Catholic, but that's fine. They sieged pretty much 80% of my nation, and as you can see, I've slowed down a little bit for you to see now. I have like a religious unity of about 89%. I am basically fully Catholic, and now I'm looking at Europe to see about becoming emperor. So what you do is you look for the electors that are royal marriageable, and you ally with them. So I'm looking at Brandenburg, Bohemia, and the Palatinate. So by allying with them and then royal marrying them, you want to make sure it's royal marriageable because royal marriage is more relation. Ally to them and royal marry them, and then you will be able to be considered as a possibility to be elected emperor. Now, you do have a little bit of, there's luck here, obviously, but you have to kind of hope for luck. But also, you need to try and get some kind of land connection towards the Holy Roman Empire, so as to try and get rid of that -50 not in the Empire malice. And once you get a land connection as well, you'll be able to start adding provinces to the Holy Roman Empire, and thus making yourself way more awesome. One important note, do not add your capital to the Holy Roman Empire, otherwise you will become a duchy for some bloody reason, thus making you lose a diplomat, which is really irritating. It's, it's super annoying to lose one of your diplomats. But obviously at this point, they don't want to vote for me, but because I've not really been managing relations, I should have been improving relations with them well in advance of this, and that would have made it way better. But yeah, that's it. Look at that. Catholic Ottomans. Isn't it amazing? There we go. So, hope this helped you guys. Do be sure to leave a like and a comment in the video. Let me know if you think this helped you. If you want to see more guides like this, let me know. I always appreciate the feedback. It was a lot of fun to make. So, I was Aldrahill and I'll continue to be, and I will see you guys around. Bye-bye.